everyone, and welcome to 1v1 with Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, Celeste Roberts of Nintendo Power Block and Another Zelda podcast. Today, I'm having a 1v3 interview, so to speak. I have the pleasure of interviewing the creators of 16-Bit Picnic, a hybrid cooking show / Let's Play YouTube channel. Hey guys!
How's it going?
Hey, hello.
Hey, thanks for joining me this Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you for having us this Wednesday.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
for having us. Thanks.
Thanks for giving.
Well, for those of you who are watching the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see their faces, of course. But for those of you listening to the audio recording, I will introduce them and you can recognize them by their voices. So first we have Brad Petrie. He's the director of photography, and editor. Hey, Brad.
Hey. that's not my actual voice. This is actually my voice.
Next, we have Hayden Nicholson, director, graphics, motion effects.
Hello, guys. I'm really excited to be here. No, I'm just kidding. This is what I actually sound like.
No, don't let him fool you.
Oh, God, guys. Not going to talk in this voice the whole time. I'm very, very excited to be here, if you can't tell.
And lastly, but not least, we have Alex Alfordish, director, composer, sound effects.
I didn't know I was directing.
You guys really should put this on YouTube if you're just listening to the audio, because Alex's background is fantastic.
I am a toilet! That's his birthright, okay?
He's in monochrome and everything. It's pretty
This is
great.
where I was born. This is where I will die.
You were a toilet baby.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to
Still
die
a
in the
toilet baby. Still, absolutely.
Like Elvis.
Well, these guys and I go way back.
So far back.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
16 years about?
16. Are you serious?
16
years.
years.
So wait. No, it has to be like, okay, so we graduated in, what was high school? Was that 07? Yeah. So 13, so maybe 14, 15, maybe?
Yeah.
We didn't
So
know each
yeah,
other
you're close.
before?
You're close.
Yeah.
No, we knew each other before
Let's go with
that.
that.
Well, I'm just saying,
Hayden's the baby.
I'm the little baby. Yeah, Celeste, I know for a fact that I've known you for 16 years.
Well, thank you, Hayden, for letting me know I'm right. I appreciate it.
I've only known Brad for like a year, so I don't know.
What?
I don't know who Hayden is. I've never met him before in my life.
I think, I don't know. Go for it.
Hello.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? My mom still asks about all three of you. How's Hayden doing? How's Alex doing? How's Brad doing? I like them all.
Tell her I'm thriving. Like, absolutely thriving.
And constantly busy and tired.
Tell her I have no hands or feet.
I would like it if you would tell her that to her face.
While waving, yeah.
You just knock on her door one day, just please.
I have fewer than the normal. I have fewer than the recommended amount of limbs.
Actually, I have more.
Recommended.
Yeah.
Well, these guys just started a very ambitious project, and I've enjoyed it a lot so far. It's really funny, and it's really informative. So if you like cooking and video games, I think this is the channel for you.
I love that you called it ambitious, because it only felt ambitious at the beginning. Now we've gotten the workflow in such a way that it's just fun for all of us.
Oh,
We're all
absolutely.
just
we're just having a good time when we shoot.
Yeah.
Well, what's the
Except
point
for
of,
Alex. But
what's the point of doing something like that if it's not fun? I mean, we all have jobs, and we all have to do stuff we don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And the output shows it, I think. Every time I watch it, I can tell when we were having a lot of fun, and I can tell when we were gonna have a lot of fun, if that makes sense.
And I think so far for with the last few, like we just shot episode 3, a week or so ago, and we're kind of in the middle of editing that. But yeah, well, I mean, even we so far have not really had a problem with like just being miserable. Like we're still going.
Well,
I'm always miserable.
You know what we hired Alex?
That doom. I love
He's
it.
such a spoil sport. We should have gotten James LeBrie like I wanted.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah.
Well, I want to take it even further back than 16 years. I want you guys to tell us about some of your earliest memories with video games.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to Or so I
I'm
guess
gonna go first. I'm gonna go first because this is I'm gonna tie this into the show. So if you've seen the logo for the show that we use, it is a Super Nintendo controller. And I actually the color scheme I used for that, I literally pulled up a picture of a Super Nintendo controller and I sampled the colors, like the purple and the lighter purple, and the gray and the darker gray. I sampled all of that from an actual picture of a Super Nintendo controller. I have bad asthma, and I always have. I was born with it. Um, and I couldn't really spend like a huge amount of time outside, so I had a Super Nintendo that I dragged everywhere with me. And I have very, very young formative memories of Zelda to the Past, Super Mario World, Legend of the Mystical Ninja featuring Goemon, Mario Paint, like all those heavy hitters. I was the Super Nintendo fiend. And like I always have a hard time, like it's a coin toss. If you ever ask me what my favorite era of video gaming is, it's a coin toss because it's either going to be PlayStation 2 or Super Nintendo. But I think like if I really sit down and think about it, Super Nintendo is just absolutely my favorite, like ever. That is my absolute favorite console, because all of my favorite video games are on it, and it just is something that I have purchased so many Super Nintendos in my life, and I have every single game I liked on the Super Nintendo. If I had the chance to buy it again, I did. And it's just kind of one of those things where like that's the earliest formative memories of video games I have is of the 16-bit era, and that's why we chose that's why I pushed, and I'm glad that Brad agreed with it, to have the 16-bit era kind of immortalized in the show the way it is.
I love it. It's a fitting tribute, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, what about you?
Well, it started even earlier for me. My dad had the Atari, so I kind of started from the beginning there, playing Missile Command. There was I don't remember what the fishing game was called. I used to love that. There was that sub game that was I don't remember half of the games for that system. It's an Atari. Like it was just like Tank or Battleship or like that's what Atari was.
Toilet paper. Yeah.
So I started. I mean, yeah. I mean,
That
that's
would be
what
a great game for
pretty much.
2020.
To be honest,
Yeah.
that's what ET kind of was.
Toilet paper.
Oh,
But
slow
either way,
flowing.
beyond that, I started there. My cousin got the NES, so I got into that. But of course, I kind of agree with Hayden with that. My real, I guess, obsession, like the obsession, started with the Super Nintendo. I used to go to a computer camp, and they kind of showed that was the first time I saw the Super Nintendo, and they were playing Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World, and I think it was Clay Fighter. And like my mind was blown.
Santa Claus every time.
Like NES and Atari made me really like video games, but the Super Nintendo was the first one where I was like, all right, time to have my own console. And that was the first one I actually owned, and to this day I think that's my favorite console because of just a few, there's a lot of mainstays that have started on that console. Like Metroid's probably Super Metroid is probably the opus of that. Same thing with Link to the Past and Mario World and Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. You had so many things that started everything. From this day still has started everything on that console. And I think I agree with Hayden. That was the epitome of consoles, and I still to this day can't stop playing it. And of course, beyond all that is just it's history. I have every console after that.
Except for the Panasonic 3DO.
Yeah. Well, we don't
64,
need that. We don't need all those. We don't need them. In the Virtual Boy, we don't need them.
You don't have a ColecoVision or a CDI.
Yeah. That CDI Zelda is gross.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, Hayden's eyes are very intense right now. I'm expecting him to throttle Brad.
No, the CDI, on the record, the CDI Zeldas are terrible garbage.
They're fun to laugh at, though.
Oh, they're amazing. They're horrible.
Oh, the animations. What about you, Alex?
So I started with this. My DMG 01. The original Game Boy. This is the one I got when I turned 4. And this is the game, which I don't know if you can see it, but Zelda, Link's Awakening, which is just all-time favorite. That got me into it obviously the Switch remake, remaster, whatever was great too. But this one just very close to my heart. Moving forward, Super Nintendo, Link to the Past, hands down. Super Nintendo was great. My mom got mad one time, threw it across the room. It had candle wax all over it. Actually, that was a separate time, but yeah, it got thrown across the room, hit the wall, still worked. The Dreamcast has candle wax all over it. The Super Nintendo, my mom's a witch. The Super Nintendo also has candle wax all over it. But yeah, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, like all-time favorite. I could play that like every day.
Oh yeah.
Did you
the
play
most
the remake?
underrated Zelda game?
What's that?
Did you play the remake of Link's Awakening for the Switch?
Yes, yeah, I have it. Yeah, it's really good. I like the cartoony part of it too, and it makes it feel new again, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
All the stuff they added too was awesome.
Oh yeah. That was a remake done well. This was just like a good couple years for remakes.
Yeah.
It was.
That was the first time I've ever played Link's Awakening, and
What?
it is. Wow. I know. But the little ghost part. Spoilers for anybody who has not played it. When the little ghost makes you go to his house and he starts crying, looking at all his stuff, I was very moved.
It's sad.
And that part really is depressing. Like you don't see that coming.
No.
I got that game when I still had a Game Boy Pocket.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was black and white, but I got the Game Boy Color version because I didn't have a Game Boy Color yet. And it worked on the Pocket, but there was like a whole area where if you tried to play it, the game told you not to play it unless you had a Game Boy Color. It was called the Color Dungeon.
Oh, you had the DX version.
Yeah, and like I remember the Color Dungeon you couldn't do unless it was like you had the Game Boy Color, but I somehow figured it out, and I got a Game Boy Color the following year. And I remember going back and playing through the Color Dungeon, and it was so much easier. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is why they... Because I remember being like, I felt like such an elitist. I was like, this game doesn't know what it's talking about. I just beat it. You just got to be really good. And then as I played it on Game Boy Color, I was like, oh, this makes sense. This is much different.
That's one thing, though, I did. I wish the remake didn't take out. They kind of took out all the little camera segments. It kind of added a little bit to the vibe.
Yeah, the Game Boy printer.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
You got this little take pictures of, like Link posing with people, and I thought that was kind of always awesome.
I'm really jealous that Alex has his first system with him. My first Super Nintendo, Wait,
hang on. Listen. Let's see. Nope.
No.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to hit me. I wasn't expecting the huge wave of nostalgia I just got. I'm not gonna lie.
Time to play Pokemon Red. Let's do it.
I got Pokemon Blue right here.
I got my Red.
I have a question. Oh, I had Pokemon Blue as well. I have a question.
Red's right here.
What was your first starter Pokemon?
I've actually never played a Pokemon game except Pokemon Stadium.
I was about to say, it's probably Stadium. Yeah.
And Hey You Pikachu and
Pokemon
Snap.
Yeah,
I'm so ready for the next.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that second one. I'm down with that.
So if 8-year-old Celeste could pick a starter Pokemon right now, who would it be?
Oh, probably Pikachu or Squirtle.
Okay. Yeah.
Squirtle's good.
Okay. What about Pokemon Puzzle League?
Yes. Yes, that was such a good one.
Right.
Thank you for reminding me about that one.
Why don't we have Why don't we have a sequel? That, to be honest.
Well, okay. So, Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
it's
pretty much.
It kind of has that vibe. You know, it's
Except
not the same.
you can't play against Team Rocket.
Now imagine if we had Pokemon Puzzle League, but like Tetris 99.
Oh my God.
Have you guys been playing? I haven't played it, but I know that there was like an Animal Crossing weekend, a Paper Mario weekend. Did you guys participate in those tournaments?
I did not personally.
No.
Nah.
No tourneys for us, man.
Even for how much we got into Melee, we did.
Oh.
Oh, Melee. Have you guys been keeping up with Ultimate?
No.
Not really. I have it, and I'll boot it up every now and then. I like Ultimate. I thought it was fun.
It's fun for fun's sake, but Melee is still the only competitive
Well, yeah.
one. Sorry.
Yeah, Brad, we're not going to sit here and be elitists about it, you nerd.
Right.
Brad's like, it's fun if you're a dope.
Look, but
have
like, but we
fun
say
with
this now, but if we're drinking and playing Melee, we would talk. We would be like, "This is the like." We would talk the smack about
Yeah,
it.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah.
You can't
Or-
look. I can't. I'm not even gonna apologize for the things that come out of my mouth when I'm drunk playing Melee. It just happens, and you got to deal with it. It's just,
Yeah, especially when
That's what makes
Larnell's
it fun.
playing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Larnell
He's
is the king of
master.
Larnell is
Yeah.
the king of both Smash Brothers and trash talking.
Yeah.
He's another old friend of ours that they're
Yeah.
alluding to. But now, in addition to talking about some of your earliest memories, would you guys like to talk about any of your favorite moments in video game history, either a video game's release, a special commercial, just anything that comes to mind? We'll start with you, Alex. Put you on the spot.
Okay, so one thing I always think about is actually the release of Super Smash Brothers on the 64.
Dude, I was thinking of that one
Really?
as well because
Okay.
I know you were there. We probably both talked about like Smash
Okay.
Brothers when we were young, but I'll let you
Yeah,
keep going.
Okay, well, okay, so I guess specifically Nintendo 64 commercials, because I guess I was watching TV more at that point. But so like the Smash Brothers, like happy together, and then they had the segueing from that to the Banjo Kazooie commercials.
Oh, that
Where-
was so good.
Banjo would like fall from like an airplane with no parachute,
look.
just.
I knew it.
Oh,
Because
man.
me and Alex used to laugh at that
It's
commercial
so good,
much.
so
Woo! He did that. We used to laugh at when he bounced off the ground that little bit. Like
good. It's so fucking, so funny, so funny. That's that's a memory.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. I love it.
I would love if Rare would make a Banjo Kazooie game that is not nuts and bolts. I don't hate nuts and bolts. I actually haven't
honest,
played it.
not
It's
today.
just it doesn't appeal to me.
Not today's Rare. You don't want it today's.
Yeah,
You-
don't want that.
You should check out Ukulele, both of them.
Oh, that one looks so
that's,
good.
That's the original team. That's the original Rare team that did like Banjo Kazooie and those games.
Yeah, so Ukulele, the first one, is really really fun because it's a lot like Banjo Kazooie, and they were a little too too faithful, so they brought a lot of the problems that Banjo Kazooie had.
Those camera issues.
Yeah, but they made a second one called The Impossible Lair that's more like Donkey Kong Country, and it's so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Not to derail the question.
No, this is video game history, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, definitely.
All right, Brad or Hayden, it's a fight to the death. Who's going next?
Brad is, because I have 3 I want to talk about. It's gonna take me a minute.
Oh, jeez, all right. Well, I definitely agree with Alex that was kind of like, especially for our young brains, like we were like, "Are you serious?" So I'm gonna be able to beat up Pikachu with Mario or Link. Like that, like you have to realize what, like that was not even heard of.
Yeah, GoldenEye it was GoldenEye for the party games, and also now Smash Brothers. How awesome, or whichever one came first. I don't know. I don't remember.
But that was definitely one, and then especially the what I was talking about, that computer camp, getting play that Super Nintendo for the first time was my biggest one as well. Besides that is of course the 64, like playing that first 64 games, like I think Star Fox 64 and Mario 64. When I played those for the first time, like it was almost like I had to restructure how I perceived a video game.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was so used to left or right. Like, when you start worrying about that other axis of movement, like, you can't... It was hard. Like, Mario 64 threw me for a loop. Like, but I was addicted. Like, I didn't... Like, that was, like, an addiction. Like, I was the first one in my cousin group to beat that game. I beat it for them. But it took me a long time to do it. But, I mean, that era was big. And then... yeah, I mean, like, I think even, like, recently, like, I don't know, I kind of took it to, like, real close, like, that whole launch era of the Switch, like I felt like I was re-energized a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just when they were, like, first I was like, cool, yeah, I'm going to get a Switch. Cool, this Breath of the Wild looks great. But when they released Breath of the Wild launch trailer, I don't know if y'all watched that launch trailer. That launch trailer is a amazing trailer.
Like a movie.
Like, I went from, like, oh, cool, I'm going to get this game, to, like, are they about to finally surpass the Zelda games that they've been, like, they might finally surpass some of the best Zelda games ever. And to me, to be honest, Breath of the Wild is like that. Brought me back to what Link to the Past was and the older Zelda was, where it's about exploration, and then
it's the best of the 3Ds.
Yeah, I'll agree with
Hot
that.
take.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, that's not even. That's a true take. That's 100%.
But it was that, and then also Nintendo coming back, which I felt like was like, thank you guys, like y'all back, like y'all understanding your audience, because for a while it was like the Wii and the Wii U, while you had some great games, but like they were not
lacking.
like. The Switch is the first one since the GameCube where it was like it's hit, and it's still selling more than any other console right now. And
That's
that was kind
outstanding.
of I mean, that
Check
was
the facts.
It's true. No, that's real facts. Like you can go and look it up. But yeah, I mean, I'd say those few. I mean, I still got some more, but I'm not gonna divulge into every single one, of course.
Unlike Hayden, who go ahead.
Brad just listed more than I'm gonna list. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I have my top 3 moments. Took it literally. I didn't think to like include commercials and stuff because I absolutely would have included the first time the internet became a thing, and I saw that Japanese Link to the Past commercial where they're dancing.
Oh, that went so good.
So
good.
good.
Like I remember seeing that, and I was like 12 or 13, and YouTube wasn't a thing then. It was on like Newgrounds, and I remember seeing that and being like, "Oh, I love that game." And then I went back and I played that game. But all right, so from third to first, here are my 3 favorite video game moments. At the end of Final Fantasy X, when Tidus uses his final act as a corporeal being to comfort Yuna, like the smile and his positive attitude with which like he looks at her and he's like, "Yuna, I have to go," and like he's been dreading it the whole time, and like she's been dreading it, and just like his last thing that he does as a human is to try to comfort her because that's all he knows how to do. And like we all wanted to hate Tidus, and if you came out of that game hating Tidus, I don't like I feel bad for you. He was such a ray of sunshine, and like his final moments are just legendary. Like for him to go up.
It's such a good game though.
Oh, it's so good. And like it I remember everybody who tried to tell me they hated him, I'm like, I don't know, that end of that game is fantastic. Because the fact that he's been the only glue keeping this entire like party together, and his last thing before he literally disappears from existence is to just try to comfort Yuna, as he knows like this is about to devastate. We saved the world and this is gonna completely undo all that for her. Like it was just so good.
I tell people all the time that's my favorite Final Fantasy still.
Oh, dude, it's so wonderful. And then in Uncharted 2, the double back to the train in the middle of the game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, after Chloe double crosses Nathan, and everything is out in the game after that is just so good. The writing in that game was a world ahead of what it should have been, especially considering the genre tropes at the time, and the sheer desperation in the mood as you scale the train, which is actively careening off the Himalayan cliff. Like the fact that wasn't even my biggest problem. I was like, my mind was reeling because I felt betrayed. Like first Chloe, and then like then was it Flynn? Was that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! When he just shoots him and leaves him for dead in the train, I was like, I felt that. I was like, no, these are my friends. These horrible people. How could they do that to me? And God.
Good.
The only moment in video gaming that has gotten me harder than either of those, though, and Brad, tell me if I can spoil it, but I totally won't if you don't want me to. I can never expect a video game to hit me harder in the feels than the very end of the first Last of Us.
No, that's rough.
Brad, have you know how it ends?
Huh?
Do you know how it ends?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, of course. I know how the first one ends, of course.
Alex, do you care if I spoil it for it?
No, I played it.
Okay, cool. They never ever tell you that you don't have to kill those doctors, but you do. You don't have to kill them, and you don't realize it until at the end when Ellie looks at him and is like, "So are you sure you did the right thing?" Like when she's like, "I need you to tell me that there was no other choice," and like then it dawned on me. I was like, "I killed those. I didn't have to. They surrendered. They were gonna let me just take her and leave, and I killed those doctors." And the minute Joel looks at her and like just dead in the eyes, and he just lies to her, and she that last like the okay. And it ends right there. I cried, like unashamedly. I cried until I was dehydrated because I realized, It was so beautiful. It was such a big character moment. And B, Joel was not a good person. And it was just like this insane thing where you're trying so hard the whole time to be like, no, Joel made rough. That moment, I was like, this is a bad dude. And I agree with all of it. So what does that say about me?
That game goes beyond like that was like I think storytelling wise, I think that's top tier almost. Like when it comes to a video game, like or close to it, you know, like that first one like will wreck you if you have not played it.
Naughty Dog, man, Naughty Dog will chew you up, spit you out. They don't care.
I was gonna add, I do actually have another memory about an actual video game.
Okay.
But I just want to get it out before I forget. So, okay, in Silent Hill 3, there's a room. It's like just mirrors and blood.
Oh
and
and
it like that creeped me the hell out. Nightmare room, and you die. It's like they don't tell you anything. You just walk in the room, and the mirror starts to bleed, and everything bleeds, and then you die. You can't get out.
That one was so creepy because it was like a slow bleed too. So you're just kind of like, is this happening? Like, can I do anything about it?
No,
no, you can't.
That was the actual video game memory. So there you go. Sorry.
Oh no, I want to hear all the memories. We should just have a separate episode where we talk about video game memories.
We'd be playing a lot more. It'd be a long episode.
Yeah, because I could talk about 6 things that happened in Resident Evil 2 that like.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah.
I had warm fuzzies about the original Resident Evil 2 on N64. I don't know. I know that sounds weird because it's a creepy game, but I just remember, I was doing this day when I reached this part, and my dad was into it, and he had picked it up at KB Toys in Southland Mall.
Hell yeah.
KB Toys, man. I miss that place.
I remember when they had video games.
Yes. So I passed by him playing it, and he's like, I just saw Leon Kennedy next to a typewriter, and my dad was describing it as this mystery detective game. He failed to mention zombies.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So I had a friend come over one weekend while he was offshore, and I hadn't watched him play it, and I was like, oh, this is a mystery game we're about to play, you guys.
Did your dad get to play the remake yet?
He watched me play it. He came over last year when I got it, and
that
he was
remake, it's so good. Like, it's so good.
Oh my gosh!
That's my dad and I with Donkey Kong. My dad loves Donkey Kong, so he loves watching. Yeah, he loves watching me play Donkey Kong.
I love that. It never. I don't say this in a way to patronize my dad, but I love seeing how excited he gets over graphics.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, this looks so good.
Yeah, he must have been for that too, because like even now, like those Resident Evil 2 remake graphics are like those are like Capcom's new engine is pretty insane. Like it looks really good.
That's what made Resident Evil 3 so disappointing, because I was like, oh.
Yeah, 3
The remake.
The remake. Yeah.
Stars.
They ruined my boy there.
Oh, half the fun was knowing that, like, you didn't know. You had no idea. He was just coming out of nowhere at the worst time. And it's like...
Yeah, now the remake was all just cutscenes for Nemesis. I was like, what is this? Yeah. Like...
No, thank you.
It's like God of War. It's like how God of War, like, everybody loved God of War, the God of War games. And, like, that's fine, except I remember playing those games, and every cool thing you could actually do to the gods was a cutscene that you was, like, quick time event. I was
except I hear for the remake, the new one, dude, I didn't get to play, which I heard is amazing.
Yeah, the 4th one's perfect, because they got rid of that. So, like, all the fights, it's you. Like, all the cool shit you do in the fights, that's you. That combat is so satisfying.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna pause on the memories because we want to talk about something that is necessary in order to play games. You have to eat to give yourself energy to play video games.
Yeah.
At the same time.
And you guys love to cook, and you decided to combine your love of gaming with your love of cooking into a very unique and really cool YouTube channel. So what gave you guys this idea?
Brad.
Well, so I was kind of always like, I think me and Hayden just discussed one, we kind of wanted to play games together and record it. I think it started as that. And, but like, it kind of like, I'm kind of in the last 2, like, especially 2 years since my last breakup. I just had a lot more time in my hands, but more just really getting into like just cooking as a hobby. Like I've kind of always but I feel like the last 2 years I really just been into it. Like I've been experimenting. I can try different things because it's just me and stuff like that. So that's become almost like my other hobby besides like I do a lot of videography and photography, but I mean I kind of consider that as an actual job because I do that for payment sometimes. But we kind of after a bit we're like, why didn't we just do like something that we don't really see because we have a lot of inspirations for the cooking side of things and a lot of inspiration insides for the video game side of things, what we watch on YouTube, and we were like, why don't we do both? And that's kind of where we started as and where we are now. I mean, and we're just going from there. But like it was something really exciting and new, and but also kind of what we are passionate about, like all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when the world is normal, I work professionally in live media. I do a lot of like technical directing and stuff. And I'm a video engineer, which is it's interesting having to explain that to people, and that's a different podcast. And there's a lot of technical fulfillment there. Like I learned a lot about, like, and Brad and I had this conversation a lot. I can tell you so many things about the technical side. I didn't really get to stretch my creative muscles a lot, and that's the thing I complained to Brad about a lot. Leading up to this, that I was just like, man, I just want to get more creative. And he kind of challenged me on that because he came out of nowhere and was like, hey, I have an idea and you're my co-host. And I just knew, it was like, yep, all right, cool. Fund it. Let's do it. It's and it's proven to be so rewarding because now I can tell people I'm a graphic designer for a web show. And like that's a thing I couldn't do that a year ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was in the same boat, but like I do more freelance videography and stuff like that, So I mean, I'm in the same boat as him. Like we both were just doing our own jobs and not really being like doing something for ourselves rather than for other people.
Yeah, and then when we talked about wanting music on the show, it was never a question. It was always going to be, Alex is going to do music, and
that's me.
we didn't even have to ask him. We just started talking about it in front of him, and he was like, yeah, I'll do music for it. And we just, because we knew, and it all just kind of fell into place in a beautiful way. And after episode 1, with the amount of input Alex had and the amount of vision Alex had, we just kind of, it became less of a twosome and more of a threesome. Like we knew we needed all three of our minds.
Menage a trois.
But I know I didn't want anybody to not like I send them the graphics when I make them because I want them to like them. Like I want everyone to be on board with it. And it definitely helps the creative process, which is cool.
And you guys have always been creative. I can't think of a better meeting of fate than you guys being friends. To bring everything you do to this table to make this endeavor come to life.
Yeah, it's fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, we do have like a lot of history of just doing stuff together. Like me and Alex used to do a lot of stuff in high school, video-wise. Videos are still on YouTube. We're not going to tell you where they are, but they're still on there.
Why would you deprive people of this?
I don't know. But
Venmo me $5.
Me and Alex did we were in a comedy group with our friend Dante, rest in peace. We it was just something we used to love to do all the time, and that's kind of where we started as. And then after that, for me, it was me and Hayden being in college together in film school, and we had that aspect of ourselves. And then I felt like it was easy for all three of us to come together because we've all worked together before in those aspects.
And we've stayed friends.
Yeah. That's the big thing is
I don't like y'all.
I
didn't realize this was a Jerry Springer Maury episode.
Steve Wilkos.
With Brad shadowboxing over there.
I think you guys are missing out on an opportunity to rake in some cash for those daytime viewers.
No, we have to like each other. Who are we, the Mythbusters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey. Rest in peace, Grant.
Well, I've given a general description of this channel, but what can viewers expect to enjoy on your channel from your voices?
You shouldn't expect to enjoy any of it. We're a nightmare come to life.
Yeah, I know. You saw how awkward we are on camera? Shit.
No, I mean,
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
I really only have one answer for that. I couldn't think of one, and the one sentence I could come up with for: please have as much fun as we are. You probably won't, but please watch us have fun and let that permeate you, because that's all we want to do is just have fun. Have anybody have even a fraction of the amount of fun we have when we're doing this.
Absolutely, and that's actually kind of what my answer would be for that too. Just because, like, I think even in the beginning, like, if whoever decides to subscribe to our channel,
103 of you,
103 of y'all so far. We have like an intro video. We even talk about like it's something not just us having fun with, but we want to grow it with everybody. So it's not like something that's just our direction, just hammering in, but like of course we do a little bit, but like we want to grow it. Like we're gonna be so transparent with it. Like there's so many like mistakes like we don't mind having on camera. We're gonna throw it on there for y'all. Like we don't mind laughing on camera, making mistakes on camera. There's a lot of things that are improv.
Just
that
wait
y'all
for this
probably
next
notice.
one.
Wait for this next
wait
episode.
for this next episode.
Yeah, oh yeah. But
the funniest thing about it being that much improv too is that I never know what kind of graphic I'm going to end up making.
Oh my god!
I'm not even going to go into more detail than this. A graphic I made today was a soy sauce health bar.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't even know that.
He said that to me earlier.
Oh, that's what that was. Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry, Alex. I bragged about showing everybody everything all along the way, and the one thing I haven't shown you.
Son of a bitch.
But it's just, like it's just that, just have fun with us. Like we're not trying to be that serious, but
and guests. By the way, guests.
Yes, very much guests. Like, and we are very open to guests. Like, and like even Celeste, we would love to have you on the show as well because we love to promote you guys as well.
Please come have fun.
Yeah, but it's something we want to grow with everybody, not just us.
If you give us enough, and this is a thing I actually thought of today. If you give me enough prep, and I'm sure Brad would feel the same way, and you tell us any just outrageous thing you want us to cook, we will figure out how to cook that for you on the show.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That or you come on the show and cook it for us.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you come on the show.
You come on the show and you cook it for us.
Yeah.
Either one.
That's just mean.
Yeah, because like even like we even talk about all the time, we're not professional chefs. We love to cook, but we're not professional chefs, so we don't care about like how we're cutting things, how we're blending things, how we're like smooth. Like I think in the next episode you'll see like I even backtrack a couple things I say. I'm like, hey, look, I kind of overcooked these a little bit, but it's okay because they still came out okay. Like
no, it was still really good.
Yeah, we don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's like, who cares?
I love it. That's the whole point. Like I don't know if I said it at the beginning or I said it off the air when we were just chatting, but we all work. We all have to do things we don't really want to do. So if you're going to do something like this, you have to love it. You have to have fun with it. Life is way too short.
Yeah, 100%. I'm hanging out with my friends and producing content, and those are two things that, like, it especially right now in today's world, like it's just hard to get, and so I cherish every second of it. And I'd love to say that the output matches that because it really is a labor of love.
And I'm not saying this just because you guys are my friends, but it's just so much fun. It does help that I've known you guys for so long, so I can kind of anticipate the jokes. I'm like, oh, that's a very Alex thing to do right now. But I love it. It's so lighthearted. I think about all these cooking shows where people are taking it very seriously. I think about Let's Plays where people are taking it seriously. To me, it's just, hey, we're having a break and we're going to play some Kirby Superstar.
And we might chug 9 beers before 9 o'clock. Who knows? Not chugging 9 beers.
That might be a spoiler for the next episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's chugging on the next episode, maybe.
Well, I guess you guys have kind of answered my next question. What kind of dishes do you want to feature? Because like you said, you're going to take suggestions, but what are some that you would like to discuss?
Hot dog.
Oh, you're going to make one from scratch?
Hot dog flavored
water. No, just like a red hot dog on white bread.
Not a hot dog bun. It has to be Evangeline.
No, white bread. White bread. Red Frank.
Wheat bread?
That's a big question. I like to experiment in the kitchen a lot. I literally almost just outed myself like the next big thing I want to cook on the show, and I'm not going to talk about that. But my parents are chefs. I like challenging flavor combinations because that's how my dad does it. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad would just like it. The best way to describe it is it's almost like one of those webcomics where like somebody kicks in a door and it's like surprise. It's my dad would just do that my entire childhood. He'd just like check this shit out, and it was always some crazy food, you know. And growing up with that, like with my dad just doing all kind of crazy stuff. Now my method of cooking when I'm experimenting and when I'm like getting a little weird as an adult has just like it's always come down to here's a normal food that I've absolutely destroyed. Please enjoy it, and it you know like and it's that's the kind of stuff. So it's we want to do a combination of like really weird, outrageous stuff, but also this is how we cook this normal thing that you know we really love to cook, and it you know like it's interesting because like you can find a million ways to cook. So you could probably find a million ways to cook chicken wings on the internet. We did it our way, in a way we like to do it, you know, and it I think that speaks for itself that like we genuinely just like to cook the things that we're cooking. That being said, if anybody can find a way to get Brad to make me a baked Alaska.
I was going to say that should be your next dish, but I didn't want to put anybody on the spot.
Look,
if they can do it in Sims 2, I think you can do it, Brad.
Is that gonna be our Sims 2 episode then?
Oh my gosh. I would become a patron on your Patreon if you guys would play.
You know what?
Sims
if we do
together.
a Sims 2 episode,
That's your episode. Yeah.
That'd be your episode.
There you go.
We would just burn the house down in that.
Game on.
Should we be Sims 2 or should we like dial it back to the first Sims where you just keep kissing and hey, should we have a baby?
Me, still the best one. Like I think just option wise and mod wise, like 2 was was the big explosion.
Well, I thought Second Life was the best one, but
I thought the Herbs Sims in the City on DS was the best.
Oh no.
What about IMVU? They still sell those cards, you guys.
Oh no.
I've never played it, but I see it at Walmart.
Getting back to the question, I definitely agree with Hayden. I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't really have the growing up with like a chef or anything like that, so he kind of had that cool side of it. I think that's kind of what makes our dynamic really nice because he has that chef coming from that chef family, and I kind of came from more of just my mom cooking a lot, and she likes to like me growing up was
good.
Yeah,
pretty fucking good cooking.
Pretty good.
Like she's more of just a home cooker, but she was kind of she's kind of a person that always not made me, but always like, hey, let's go eat some Thai food, or here's some calamari, or like I was always she molded me to trying new things all the time. Like, and that's kind of how I am. Like that's why I live in New Orleans, to be honest, because I love to eat. And that was kind of the biggest thing for me. And then that kind of translates to my cooking because I kind of do the same thing with Hayden. Like it's always about experimenting on what you could do, especially in this next episode. You'll see. I'm not going to say anything because I threw a few curveballs to what it usually is. But he does the same thing too. He does the same thing for episode 2, which y'all probably already saw with the wings that he did. Like we just really like to experiment, and I think that's how me and Hayden really get along, trying to like think of stuff like that because we both have different sides, but also the same at the same time. And it's just we love trying things out, especially like for me when I try to find a recipe to cook something, I look on Pinterest and I pretty much alter it pretty much like half of it. So like I was
going to ask if you provide like a life story whenever you're describing the recipe. When I was in Rome in 2014 with my fairy companion, I decided to ride this horse, and we came across this ziti.
Yeah.
Scroll. What do I have to buy at Whole Foods? Who wrote this article?
If there's a recipe that has jump to recipe as an option on the page,
yeah.
I know, right?
However, we are the equivalent, I guess, of one of those blogs that doesn't show you the recipe straight up. And I don't give a
Yeah.
shit because we bring you video games and motion graphics. So
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's more entertaining.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we're in the next episode. I think we even discussed about trying to get like a list of at least the ingredient side of things. Because I do want to like I kind of want to because I do want to get to a point where I want to share the stuff that we're making. Like it's not a secret. Like I don't want it to be a secret. I kind of want it to share the wealth kind of thing. I mean, we me and Hayden especially, we kind of follow a guy, Mythical Kitchen, Chef Josh. And his mentality is like that. Like he doesn't care what he's doing, but he's all about sharing what he's doing, and he's weird and he's silly, and that's kind of one of our inspirations for the show. Besides like Babish and then of course Game Grumps for the gaming segment, they're all kind of like combinations of what we do. Like everyone's just our main inspirations are us having fun on the show, and that's he kind of compensates. Like I see him as like the cooking side of how we think about cooking side. Like we want people to have fun and make the stuff too.
Josh's whole brand actually inspires the hell out of me because he's just
too.
this controlled chaos. He is a lot of the reason I started watching him is because my sister Mia texted me and was like, "Hey, you really need to check out Mythical Kitchen. That dude is entirely your brand. He's just chaos and like
he's fantastic.
He made a Taco Bell lasagna recently."
That was a good episode.
And like no one's ever gonna make that, right? But I could if I wanted to now. You know, like
but like good? He knows what he's talking about though. Like he doesn't just make things, like he knows what to do to make it delicious.
He knows, and it looked really good, but like he knows exactly what he's doing. But he actually taught me a thing I use a lot. And this is why I love watching YouTube. This is why I love watching cooking shows on YouTube. He taught me a thing I didn't know, and that's and this is going to sound like a duh moment to so many people who've worked in restaurants and stuff, but I never worked in a restaurant because I was raised in food service. And by the time I was old enough to work, I realized I didn't want to work in food service.
Same.
Most of the delicious sauces that you eat at restaurants are just pink mayonnaise.
It's true. It's so true.
Pink mayonnaise?
It's literally just like mayonnaise, some kind of weird hot sauce, and then like spices. And I have started taking hot sauce. I'll take like my favorite hot sauce and I will dump it into like just a tablespoon or two of mayo, and you mix it together with like some chipotle powder or some just like regular chili powder, and you get this delicious like concoction. Taco Bell has what's called creamy jalapeno sauce, and the creamy jalapeno sauce is what they put in their quesadillas. And if you've ever had a quesadilla from Taco Bell, there's that we like weird beige sauce they have on. That's what that is. It's just pink mayonnaise.
Hey, we need to try to do some of that with the hot sauces I got.
Yeah, please.
I've watched Hot Ones, so I'm not gonna lie. I've already bought some of the Hot Ones hot sauces.
The last dab's not that bad. It's actually delicious.
But it's hot.
It's hot, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Alex, do you have anything to say regarding food or cooking?
Tell them how good your mom is a cook.
She can't cook bread. She can't cook toast. Pop-Tarts? No, I don't think so.
So look, me and Alex kind of been friends since like 5th grade, 4th grade. We like usually when it came to him eating like cooked food, if he wasn't eating at his grandma's, he was at my house.
Yep.
Like seriously.
I want my popcorn burnt.
Your stepdad grilled the steaks on your birthday one year. We ate steaks and we watched Ong Bak. And
oh yeah.
Oh wow! I forget that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And like Pat can grill a steak, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to your stepdad for grilling the hell out of a steak. That was because he even asked me, he's like, "Hey, how you want yours?" I was like, "I want a black and blue," and I got a black and blue steak, and it was really good. So
I think I'm gonna need to eat after this.
I actually pan-fried some fish right before this, not thinking about it. And so they're just kind of sitting.
You didn't even eat them yet?
No. Jade ate. But my girlfriend ate them. At least.
Yeah,
so they didn't go to waste.
Stir fry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I cooked stir fry last night with some vegetables. That's all I did was eat some leftovers of that.
I saw your Instagram story, which
looked good.
Twitter now has fleets.
Ew!
Yeah.
Ew!
Yeah.
Ew. What is that?
It's like
What the hell is
story.
a fleet?
Uh,
What
Well,
the hell is a fleet?
so now you can take screenshots of fleets and you can send your friend fleet pics. And
Every time I see that word, I just think of boats.
it's a great,
Yeah.
that was a great joke. It was a great joke that no one laughed at. I'm gonna high five.
Oh my gosh. So the next question I was going to ask, like future plans for the show, but you've kind of answered that a little bit, unless there's something we're forgetting.
Oh, no, we want a Hulu deal. We want a Hulu
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Just like Animaniacs, please.
A Hulu deal?
Want
I
an
want
animated-
HBO Max.
We want a Hulu deal for 4 seasons, and like season 4 is going to be underfunded, and we'll try our best with it. We're going to disappear for 10 years, and then we're going to get an animated reboot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like the animated reboot. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to watch you
But,
guys.
I guess
Yeah.
in that topic, like, I mean, it's early, we're just kind of going with it. But I mean, we do have a couple ideas we want to add to the channel. Like probably I don't know if in this next episode, but we even thought about like a podcast, getting that going every few weeks, just because we have like a off week right now. We're on a 3-week schedule of getting episodes out, and we kind of want like to find something for that off week. And we were thinking about like a podcast we were going to probably start doing. And we even thought about doing like live streams and then posting those recordings of the live stream of like video games onto there. And then I think we even talked about, me and Hayden, talked about even putting some of the some D&D sessions on there as well. Because why not?
Yeah, why not? Have fun. It's a game.
Yeah.
Because we like that as well.
Okay.
I DM.
That's
I
amazing.
DM a lot.
Yeah, he does. He's usually our DM.
Yeah, I DM a lot, and I have grown to right now. Like when I'm a player, I have no idea what I'm the equivalent. I'm the D&D equivalent of I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm not the DM. So I found like I'm much more comfortable as the DM than I am as a player, and so I've just started DMing for everybody, and like I wish like I had more creative juices and more time, because I would write a million one-shots and I would just record myself just trying to kill my friends' fantasy personas, because we did that a few months ago on my Twitch channel, and we had just a blast. We had just an absolute.
That was the first time I ever like really played though.
Yeah, and Alex almost died, and
Not drunkenly.
Somehow or another, they managed to keep him alive, and it was amazing. It was really funny watching my friends drag themselves through the snow trying to not die at this thing that I had created just to kill them.
Yeah, and our friend group definitely gets into character too. So
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I would watch that.
But
Long live Bob Breck. Long live Bob Breck.
And all of that is in the future of the show. All of that is definitely in the future of the show. The more we expand it, the more we have like these wacky ideas that we act on and they go well. And literally every episode so far has just been like, let's try this thing. And then we watch it back and we're like, oh yeah, that worked. That was so good.
Yeah.
We haven't tried anything that hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing Alex almost take a swig of olive oil.
You're gonna love
the next episode. Oh,
God, no one prepared me for how much random stuff I would just. I complain about it like it's not my idea, but no one prepared me for like, hey, by the way, you're gonna eat some stuff you shouldn't eat on its own.
I'll just say Hayden's throat was extremely slick.
Yeah,
it still is. Ladies.
And there was definitely one part. There's definitely one part in the next episode that both of them didn't realize was going to happen either.
Yeah, Brad.
I think I know how to predict you assholes, and I never do.
Wild and crazy.
We're gonna go into some negative Nancy territory.
All right.
Okay. I want you guys to put on your best rant mindset. And I want you to tell me, what is the worst video game you have ever played?
Alex?
Bloodborne. It's stupid. No one should play it ever. It's trash. It's an awful game. You die like... What? Like, you die. You die. That's the game. That's the purpose of the game. You just die. It's shit.
So, this is a sneak peek onto episode 3,
trash.
guys.
This exact rant.
And I'm not going to go any further. We got Alex to play Bloodborne, and that's episode 3. And we're not going to say anything more.
Sucks.
You got Alex to play it? Was this for the first time?
Yeah, it's first time.
It's one of me and Hayden. Like, I would say like me and Hayden pretty much agreed in the past decade. It's one of our favorite games.
Oh my God! So
yeah,
polar
100%.
opposite.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm the I'm the masochist. I'm the sadomasochist. Not them.
Clearly, you're not.
Whatever it's called. I don't know. What's the word?
Boy, Lauren, that will back us up.
Scrub.
It's
But,
trash.
We're not.
It's good.
We'll let y'all watch episode 3 to understand what. Like we talk more about why it's one of our favorites than Alex how much he hates it. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Why do you people play MOBAs? That's what I want to know. Who
I
sits
agree
down,
with that. I
Who sits
absolutely
down-
agree with that.
Who sits down at Dota and gets on where some 12-year-old is like, you guys are all trash because I'm the only person who knows how to play, and it's all your fault, not mine. Who sits down and plays that?
Hey, is it because we played StarCraft?
Yeah, like StarCraft's so much better. Oh my God, play a real strategy game, please. Like MOBA, if you don't know what a MOBA is, it's where a bunch of nerds
Hey!
We're all nerds here, okay?
pick a character. No, a bunch of bad nerds. Pick a character, and then they all go into this world. It's like they all go into this world and complain. And then like you either win or you don't. You either win or you don't. And some people get really lucky a whole bunch and they make a lot of money. And then all your friends tell you, oh well, actually, if you press the buttons the right way, you could be good at it. You're like, no, you fucking can't. The game sucks. It's not fun.
Not much as Bloodborne.
I think I like this more than everything else we've talked about because you guys get really passionate.
Oh my God. Who sits down and plays Dota for more than 20 minutes and goes, yeah, this is fun. This is a thing I'd like to keep doing. That is like the equivalent to me. That is the equivalent to me of like in June when it rains and you go somewhere where there's a lot of concrete and you sit there in like jeans and like your buttoned up, like, I don't know, like shirt from work, and you just sit there and like someone comes by and they're like, hey, hold this weighted blanket for me. And like you're trying to eat, I don't know, you're trying to eat like Buffalo Wild Wings or something. And you're like me, you haven't trimmed your mustache in a while. So you're just like chewing on your mustache in this muggy heat with like a weighted blanket and a button up shirt on. And you're like, yeah, this is nice. That's what a MOBA's like.
That sounds like the worst scenario I can picture.
Well, go play Dota. You'll see what I mean.
Or League of Legends.
God, yeah.
I played League of Legends for a little bit.
You did.
Not
I
gonna
actually
lie.
played. I used to play a little bit with you, but not like since you
Had
did.
no fun. You're lying to yourself.
Is that your worst game, Brad?
No, I mean, I'm not a fan of MOBAs because I'm a big RTS person. Just because I kind of felt like when I went to a MOBA, I was like, but this is like RTS without all the strategy.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like an RTS counting on 30 other people to like not be idiots.
Yeah, I mean, it does have its own appeal. Like, I'm not gonna drag you for actually liking it. I mean, go for it. I mean, for a bad game, that's kind of hard. I tend to try to. I don't know. I'm kind of like when I buy something, I kind of know I'm gonna like it. So it's kind of hard for me to play a bad game that I really despise. Like to a point, like even like games that I don't care about entirely, I still don't hate entirely. It has to be some early games that I just couldn't get into. What was some? See, yeah, that's something that I didn't really think about. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to really kind of put to a point where like it's just like this. I hate this game. Oh wait, no, Dark Souls 2. There we go, baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dark Souls 2.
So just like Bloodborne, made by the same person. Well, except for Dark Souls.
How is this any different? How is this any different?
Except for Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is real bad.
It was not made by the same guy. And
Okay.
I hate it.
Because he was busy making Bloodborne, which is a much better game.
Yeah. So this game has so many bugs on it, and so like the thing about Dark Souls, they're all hard, but if you actually learn the game, you can actually go through it not that bad. Dark Souls 2 doesn't care. It just doesn't care. Like it's just like, hey, I don't like your face. No matter how well you learn this game, I'm an ogre. I'm gonna grab you through a wall and kill you instantly, and it makes no sense. And like there's no reward to the challenge and stuff. I guess that would be one of the ones I got kind of frustrated and I had to power through. The only other ones is kind of like not really games I hate. It's just more they're hard and I never could beat. Kind of like Contra 3.
Frustrating than anything.
Yeah, Contra 3 is frustrating. I don't hate it. I love it. Wait. God, Contra 3. Oh my god. Me and Alex tried so hard.
Hard game, man.
Yeah,
That's a hard game.
And then on the other side, me and Larnell, my friend Larnell, we tried to do the same with Ikaruga. It didn't happen.
Ikaruga's bad. Ikaruga's
hard.
But that's a good game though. That's a really good game.
Yeah,
but
it's amazing.
But it's that's kind of where I get more of my frustrations from for games. Like I don't really hate games when they're real, like because they're bad. Like it's really rare for me to play a game like I hate, despise you because it's that bad. I just tend. What?
I have another one I hate.
Which one?
Rock Band, Guitar Hero. Any game that has a fake drums on it is stupid. That's stupid as hell.
Yeah,
those drums are not drums. It's shit.
I think South Park made fun of that game perfectly.
Good. Crash.
Yeah, I didn't get into those games either. Oh wait, I got it. I got this. I got it. Football games.
Yeah.
Sports games right now. Games.
Okay,
right
I was about to say not NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz is the best sports game ever made besides Wayne Gretzky hockey on N64.
Yeah.
Hey. The NHL games now are pretty fun.
Oh, also NBA Jam.
Yeah.
FIFA like 15 was fun, but FIFA like 16 and 17 they literally copied and pasted the same game, and people like threw a fit about it and bought 100 million copies, and then they were like, "We heard you."
Well, it's not.
And then they copied and pasted it again, and like everybody complained and still bought it. And it's.
But this is definitely it. This is definitely it because like, it's not just how much they copy and paste it each year, and they make people spend $60. Now $70, by the way. They're going to charge $70 for the new Madden, by the way.
Are you
just
serious?
letting y'all. Yes.
A roster change.
But the last few years, they've been getting into like loot boxes, and it's been like greedy loot boxes.
Aren't those up for some kind of lawsuit?
They are in Britain, especially. Britain had a lot of big lawsuits about their loot boxes, and then NBA 2K, the last couple 2K games for NBA, they literally had gambling in the video games in a rated E game.
Yeah.
And it's baffling like why people buy these games. Like the people that play these games are like they're I don't know. I don't understand it. Like that is the lowest common denominator of video gaming.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Hey, they actually I heard
that.
I heard
that. That's fun.
Given its defense, the last year or so, they actually repaired the game, and I heard it's actually really
no, I played it since the start.
Cool. The fact that you had to pay $120 for a full game.
You don't.
No, when it came out. When it came out,
it was dumpster fire. When it came out,
And on principle, I can't pay for that. I can't.
But that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of games that do that now. Like, you have like both Destiny games didn't do well at the beginning, but they're actually solid now.
Yeah.
You have
now they're free.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is like did not promise it. Like they failed on their promise, but now No Man's Sky is actually really legit. Like
I actually been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
I'm gonna throw you guys for a loop.
Yeah.
The worst game I've ever played was a Powerpuff Girl game for the Nintendo 64.
What? Yes.
Oh, man.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
It was like some 10-year-old was experimenting with coding.
Yes.
And creating a video game.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, you're lucky. Imagine my sisters and I rented it because we were obsessed with Powerpuff Girls, and we were sorely disappointed.
Well, I would be too.
Yeah. Do you guys remember they had the Rugrats in Paris Nintendo 64 game?
Oh yeah,
well, they had a scavenger hunt game.
Well, I rented that one. I remember renting that one.
Wait, is this different? Okay, these two different games because I played the scavenger hunt Rugrats.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't remember it might have been because I don't remember the scavenger hunt one.
I may have one. Alex, do you think this falls in this category? Pac-Man World 2.
Hey, okay, so
for Super Nintendo.
Look. God, I got something in my eye. Look. Yeah, no. That game is just so stupid. It's so stupid and has
but
no
I think
point.
Me and Alex laughed at it even for how bad it was.
You literally you beat and honestly molest Pac-Man the entire game.
Oh my god!
You literally do.
I'm not lying. That's like the point of the game. You make him go places and you throw pellets at him like constantly, and that's it.
And I think we were just crying, laughing because we would just throw pellets at him. We were like, "Look, look, look," and he like
he's
starts
like,
he starts crying, and we're just like, "Look, look."
Can that be
look.
bullies.
a pick, please?
Wait, what?
Can this game be on 16-bit picnic?
Oh
Please.
yeah, we talked about it already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about that.
That is one thing I would like to do. Actually, that kind of goes back to that future part of the channel. I would like to play some bad games.
Yeah,
Like, I would really like actual
Like
bad
Bloodborne.
games.
Bad games, good food.
If there are any Bloodborne fans listening to this episode, we sincerely apologize.
There are 2
I don't.
Bloodborne fans on this episode.
Yeah, that's
Bloodborne
only
is one of
that over here.
I literally am trying. I want to get the Vault Hunter rune, the Hunter rune. I want to get that tattooed on me somewhere, but like an invisible ink, which is apparently like really toxic and like can give you horrible skin problems. But
You're talking about Borderlands, right?
No, yeah, you're right. No, but there's Vault Hunter is Borderlands. I said Vault Hunter as a slip of the tongue. I do want to get a Vault Hunter tattoo as well, but no, I'm talking. There's the Hunter symbol, the Hunter rune, from Bloodborne. That's a thing as well. It'd be really funny if I had 2 different kind of Hunter runes on me, and I don't actually like hunt in real life.
Okay, so this is, I guess, a little bit more positive. Well, I guess it could be negative, depending on how you look at it and what your answer is. Okay, what is the game that you have invested the most time into? Oh my God, Alex, the background.
That's hard.
You
That's
picked
hard.
it.
That's hard.
Oh, I
Borderlands.
know. Oh, you go. Go ahead. Go.
Borderlands.
Go.
Borderlands 2. So like if you look at my Steam profile, for some reason it only shows I have like 250 hours in that game, which is hilarious because I know for a fact at one point I had over 900 hours in Borderlands 2. I wrecked that game. All 6 characters, all the way leveled up. I could take each one of the characters in that game and solo every single raid boss in the game, like with just that character. I sunk so much time into Borderlands 2 that I think about the hours I lost playing that game, and I wonder who else I could be had that game never existed. But Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts were probably pretty close because I've played through both of those so many times. But Borderlands 2, beyond the shadow of a doubt, is the one that I can like quantify. I've played over 11 or 1,200 hours in that game.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah. Whew.
All right. So I pulled up my Steam, and I went to Team Fortress 2. And some of these hours, okay, so it says playtime 1,648.7 hours for Team Fortress 2. So, yeah, we played a lot.
You used to leave your computer like on, and you used to just be in the game though, huh? Because I remember I'd get on Steam and it showed you were in, and I'd like text you to join.
Farm. He used to go in those.
I was like, I used to farm and get like items whenever they were dropping every like 10 minutes and crap.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I mean, definitely TF2 is a part of that because I'm part of like me and Alex and a few of us used to like. I'm actually the first one that got the orange box in 2007, and I got it for Portal to be honest. And TF2 was on there. I was like, hey guys, this game's kind of fun, and everyone else started getting TF2, and we kind of still sometimes play to that day.
I played on October 9th, apparently.
Yeah. But I mean, there's definitely there's some hundreds of hours that they're not counting on there for me. I know for sure. Like, there's no way I've only done 1,200 hours. There's no way. There's no way.
My best guess as to why Steam does that is because I have a couple games that like I have played offline, like back when I had a laptop at college. I'd bring my laptop around. Yeah, before they had Wi-Fi on campus, I'd bring my laptop around. And I remember I had played a lot of Borderlands 2 that way. And I think I like had the cloud save set up wrong or something happened to like my hard drive and I lost like a ton of stuff that just hadn't uploaded. And that's probably what that was. But yeah.
But definitely, besides that game, I mean, it's definitely, I guess this is kind of a cop-out, but I used to play Final Fantasy 11 when I was in high school. That technically probably had the most hours I've ever put into a single game because of every night playing about 4 to 8 hours of my life in high school. And in that game, you had to be dedicated to play. like back then. The 11 was hard. So is that of course, like I said, TF2. 2011 Dark Souls 1 was my obsession the entire year. So I probably put a lot in. I put a lot in that as well, and a lot of stuff kind of like in the early days, kind of scattered. Like Mario World, I put who I don't even know how much.
I mean, even Mario World from when you were young and every year up until now.
Yeah.
It's like
how many times I've run
year.
through Link? How many times I've run through Link to the Past and Super
100%.
Metroid.
My battery died on my Link to the Past, like the little memory battery thing.
Mine too.
Actually, that Link to the Past is the one I still have, Alex, and the battery's been working for me.
Yeah, I had changed it.
Oh, that's true. I forgot you did that.
Yeah.
Way to flex on that, Brad. Make him.
Or
feel bad.
I had changed it, like changed, or I probably actually bought a new one.
Yeah, it really is just
changing it, and
it's a watch battery. It's really
it's like a CR3233 or whatever.
So, yeah, but besides those, I mean, it's just kind of scattered games. I can't really tell. I mean, Left 4 Dead 2, I'd probably put up there as well for kind of group. Mario 64
and maybe Phasmophobia now.
That's what
How
we're
is that
really.
game?
It's so fun.
Amazing.
So
It's
good.
so good.
But like they've had all these like random little indie games that come up in the last 4 or 5 months because of COVID. Fallout Guys is fun.
Fallout
We played
Boys.
that for a little. Fallout Boys.
Fallout Boys is good.
Even Among Us we played a little bit, but Phasmophobia we already put more hours than any of those games combined.
Yeah.
Like we are addicted to that game.
I could literally play. I could literally play Phasmophobia every night.
It's made by one guy.
Yeah.
Guy that makes
Good job, one guy.
That's
Good
another
job.
reason. That's another reason I could play it every night is because I know the more traffic there is on his server, the more likely he is to like want to improve it more. And I want that dude to be successful.
Yeah, and I think it because like we've talked about it before. Like one of our big games we play together is Left 4 Dead 2, and I think this is the first game since Left 4 Dead 2 that we have a co-op that actually works.
Yeah.
And we like to play together because you actually have to do things together to make things happen.
Right.
Like Left 4 Dead 2, you have to work together. This game, you have to work. There's too many games that do co-op and you don't really have to work together. You could just kind of have fun together, but not actually work together. Left 4 Dead 2, in this game, you have to work together or you will die.
That's actually a really good. Oh, that's a really good point. I have before made a joke, but it's true. This team, like this friend group, we don't play a whole lot of competitive games. Like we play Melee and all that. We don't necessarily play against each other a whole lot. We like to play with each other. Like we work so much better as a team.
Melee is definitely the only one we are against each other.
Like we love that, but it's like at the end of the day, like we work so much better. We have so much more fun when we're cooperating and we're having to think as a unit. Like that's just.
Except for, can we go to a question real quick that you added?
Oh,
and
is it
a
the
segue.
angry one?
Yeah. So except for whenever we play like Mario Party or something, and when into
this now?
and when do you want to?
Brad sold his soul to the devil and is like always. Brad is always just like the champion at Mario Party.
Hey, look, I played my Mario Party 2 seriously. If it was Mario Party 3, Barry and Lornell would win. If it's 2, I would win.
The only reason Brad lost his hair is because when he was a kid, he's like, all right, Crossroads Demon, I want to be amazing at Mario Party.
Hey,
look,
I had the Stigmata of Mario Party 1 hands. Like, to beat the mini game island of Mario Party 1, you had to like rub this down so much your hands would start peeling because
it didn't have the Nintendo Power Glove either.
No.
God.
But I guess Alex is skipping a question because I know what he's trying to get me into, but we're skipping like I think another question here.
We didn't skip it. We were talking about the most hours invested in one game, and then
that is the next one. That is the next one.
He knows what he's talking about. He's ready.
He knows what he wants me to bring up. That's why.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was going to be Bloodborne. He was going to say about the video game that makes him the angriest.
No. This isn't about me.
This is
my answer isn't about me. It's about Brad.
Yes.
And playing Mario Party with him and his brother. And his brother, I think, turned off the system.
Last night.
Froze the system.
He froze the system during the game. And Brad got up and punched him once in the face. And then as he turned around, punched him in the back of the head and broke his ring finger.
Yeah.
On his brother. I love it.
The thing.
It's so good.
What makes this really funny is that a lot of people know me. I'm actually a non-violent person.
Violent person.
Oh yeah. But that's kind of like the only time in my life I've like angrily lashed at somebody. Now, I mean, me and my brother, you had a history of like fighting, but not like punch fighting, more like wrestle, angry, I hate you, whatever, fighting because you aggravate me because you're my little brother, big brother, kind of
Typical
thing.
sibling stuff.
Yeah. But this was the first time like I just had it, and like he froze that N64 console while I was winning because he knew what he was doing because my N64 had like an issue if you tap. It still does to this day.
It still
if you
does,
tap
yeah.
it, you can freeze it.
Yeah.
I got so mad that he did that.
He was in the lead too.
I was in the lead. I punched him in the face, in the back of the head, and I broke my finger.
It's
and
so funny to
and
like.
it's funny because I had a cast on. We went to Gulf Shores.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That we
Yeah.
filmed the video over there.
Yeah. Well, that was the one I think when my brother and his friend came and we were in the golf
Oh,
carts.
yeah, the golf
stalking
carts.
them because they kept trying to hit on chicks, and then we were like the anti-hit chicks. So we were just kind of like
The
Anti-hit chicks.
because they were hitting on chicks,
Band
and
name.
then like we drive by
Hitting
and
on
say something.
chicks.
Well, it was true because like
I know it's just.
because like
Uh,
they were hitting on some random girls that were over there, and then like me and Alex would drive by and just like stop, stare, and then just drive away. Like we would just see what we can do to fuck with them.
Yeah.
like that was just our mentality. We're just like we thought it was just hilarious. But then no, I had a cast.
Wait a minute. Okay, so if he was hitting on chicks, you guys were older than 9.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, we were in high school. I think we were.
I was picturing like
No, this is high school. But no. It's early high school, late elementary because me and Sam stopped really fighting in high school.
So Sam was trying to hit on girls at like elementary school.
I don't know what age they were. It was,
Yeah, I can't even remember.
his friend kind of more did that than him. He kind of just tagged along, to be honest.
he was the wingman.
Yeah, he kind of was. And me and Alex, like I said, we're the anti-wingmen. We destroyed whatever they tried to do.
We were winging each other.
Yeah, I forgot what I don't even remember what stupid stuff we'd kind of drive by and say too. Like we'd sometimes say something. So whatever.
Yeah,
The moose is loose.
Yeah, well, stuff like that. Like that's the kind of level we went. Like you don't understand the level me and Alex would go.
Yeah.
Because the time after that, that's when we made Slow and the Less Frustrated.
All right.
Yeah.
I need to know who else got angry because of a video game.
All right. I'm gonna say a thing, Celeste. I think you're the only person in this chat who will understand where I'm coming from. Nothing in this world has ever made me angrier in a video game than "There's no way you're taking Kyrie's heart," because I had to listen to it so many times after the 10-minute long cutscene before Riku just kicked my ass. You know what I'm talking about?
No! I'm so sorry.
Kingdom Hearts. No, Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom
I've
Hearts.
never played Kingdom Hearts.
At the end of Kingdom Hearts, there's a fight with Riku where he's super fast and it's just stupid. And like he has like 4 attacks that take away all but like 2 of your HP, and you cannot heal after them, so you have to like you can't heal after him because he's too fast. If you try to heal in the animation time, he'll get you. So you have to wait until he finishes that string of attacks or just like not get hit. And it's the most outrageously stupid thing. And there's an unskippable like 10-minute long cutscene in front of it. And it just, I have for a while when I was a kid, I would like get my ass kicked at that fight. And then I would like restart. I'd walk up to the area and then I'd walk away and go do something else. And then when I came back, sometimes I'd be dead and I'd be even more mad. Or sometimes I'd come back right at the right time. Nothing has ever made me more angry than that single fight in that game. Because like, it's just, another thing that makes me kind of angry in video games, and this is the thing I complain about, that like I've never really been able to articulate it well, and some people don't know what I'm talking about. But like, you know, when a video game like changes the rules of the game to make a boss fight harder, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah. they've established that like, oh, this is how the combat works, and then you get to a boss fight, and they're like, except for against this guy. The game that did that last, that didn't necessarily make me super angry, but it frustrated me, was Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was a very fun game, and it was very good. The samurai duels worked different than the regular combat in that game. Like the timing was different. The timing was different, and like he moved differently. So it was almost like you're playing a completely different game because like there's a parry move you can do, and the parry move like takes place at a certain time in the animation for everyone else. But in a samurai duels, it's completely different. So you've trained yourself to parry at a certain time and do it a certain way, and then you get into like the big like meat and potatoes of the game, the big thing that they're obviously the most proud of, and they're like, no, this is different for some reason. And it's just like, can it not be? Like, can you just let me play the game instead of changing the rules to make this more difficult?
Oh.
That's kind of like why I like JRPGs. And I don't even like that JRPGs. It's kind of why I like Final Fantasy games and stuff like that, though, because Final Fantasy, like, so seven's a big one. 7 like established by Alex. 7 like established. This is how the combat's going to work, and you just kind of have to go with it. And then, like, that was it, right? Final Fantasy X did the same thing. It's like, this is how combat works. You kind of have to go with it. I just don't. There's so many games that just change the way the combat works, specifically to make one fight harder. Like, if the fight isn't hard, the fight isn't hard.
It's like playing Battletoads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what Battletoads on Super Nintendo is. It's like, oh, this level completely changed the mechanics again.
Oh my gosh.
That's what makes me angry.
Did y'all ever play Castlevania 64?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I played it when it was good.
I played it as Carrie, and the part that frustrated me the most, and my first memory of cursing at a video game when I was in 7th grade, was take me off the internet. I'm not fit for humanity. It was the hedge maze with the dogs and the Frankenstein with the chainsaw.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that made me angry.
Hey, those Castlevanias get tough.
They are tough.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, you talked about Brad getting angry. Do you have a video game?
I already mentioned what I was angry about already.
We don't want to. You don't want to revisit that.
No,
that's why y'all need to stay tuned for episode 3, because this is probably the angriest I've ever seen Alex at a video game.
Just don't.
I've known him for a long
understand.
time.
Like, okay, whenever it's like a competitive thing, that's one thing. Or, being angry because you tried to kill a boss for like, 5 times or whatever and something. This was just shit. It was just shit. Trash. Awful game. I will never play that game ever again.
Would
I
you
will
like
never
me
watch
to?
it.
Would you like me to segue to a more positive topic for you to lower your blood pressure?
Yes.
Yes.
There's no blood pressure. He's on the toilet, so if things go high, he just poops.
Yeah, see?
See, look, he puts his hand in there.
Yeah, just...
Is that a stock image, or is that your actual... Like, did you take a picture of your actual bathroom?
Oh, no, I'm in my bathroom. I am in my bathroom.
That's real. That's absolutely real.
Yeah, it's real.
I didn't know if your bathroom was that clean. Because it looks very, like, Karen-esque.
That's my name. Karen.
His name is Karen Esquire.
Karen Esquire.
Rugrats is the reason I learned that word. Because Chucky's dad, when he wins the lottery, he wants to be known as Charles Finster Esquire. Do y'all remember that?
I do remember
that's pretty good, though.
And he buys this fragile elephant statue or something. I don't know. But what can you tell us about the type of equipment that goes into making one episode?
Ooh, that's so much stuff.
Just list real quick.
A guillotine, 4 pounds of pork.
Well, a lot of it, especially when we're shooting, is on my end. Because I have all the lights. Most of the cameras, we use Haynes camera as well. But I mean, I have a Canon Mark 4 and a 2, and we use Hayden's Mark 3. I have a bunch of light. Yep. Yeah. We have the whole suite of Adobe to thank for a lot of what we do too. We also I have besides like a friend, like a Fresnel. I almost said Frenzel, and y'all were about to laugh at me too.
I would have because I correct you every time.
Yeah, I know Fresnel. But I also have like a bunch of lights that we use as well. Besides that, I have my audio equipment that we use for recording the audio, and I mean after that, it's just really our editing programs that I use on my computer. But then it kind of goes like I think for Hayden, he uses more of like the After Effects side of things. I'm more like Premiere side of things. And Alex,
Yeah,
of
After
course,
Effects
has
and
his own
Photoshop.
things. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of about it, really. I mean, besides, of course, all the consoles and whatever we decide to play a video game on and the capture equipment.
I have to put on my I have to put in my bionic eye. I have to make sure that I charge my you're gonna want to bleep this part out. Stakakis. I just said Stakakis, New Jersey is the word I was looking for, and I said Stakakis instead. I mean it basic like we don't use any specialized equipment on our side. The man with the specialized equipment is the noisemaker.
Yeah, he does have he has the weird stuff.
That dude's got some crazy awesome stuff.
Like this recorder.
That recorder is all of our music.
Now
It's
look,
amazing.
he uses whatever sounds he can do for music and sound effects, so that's stuff he will use.
I use this thingy.
I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's called an OP1. It does everything. It records, it samples, all this other stuff. Got some good little synths and drum machines here. There'll be on the next episode only these, which is pretty fun. And then just household stuff and whatnot. And I use Studio One.
Like
Alex is in a band. Well, he's in a few bands. Would you like to list them?
No, but you can find the music for the episodes at jupiterdog.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, he does release the music for each episode as an album after every episode, so y'all check that out as well.
Yeah, but disclaimer there. So every song is basically just I write it like basically on my way to work, while I'm sitting, while I'm watching it live, right? And as I'm watching it, I will edit and do stuff live and then just keep whatever it is. So it might be a wrong note, might be whatever, but it kind of goes in the spirit of the video. So
yeah,
just improv and leave it.
It's interesting too because it stuff like that, like since we are so digital, like everything we do exists in a digital world except for the food. But since everything is so digital, we like the idea that like not everything looks or sounds perfect. It gives it life. Like it's a very alive sort of production that we put out there. And Alex's music really speaks to that because Alex's music is very good and very like organic, and you can tell a human made this. You know, like you're welcome. It's not like so like I make a lot of music on Ableton, and all the music I make on Ableton comes out sounding really like robotic and like to a grid because I'm not good enough to, with digital instruments. I'm more of an analog instrument guy.
More than me.
What? This is analog? Damn it!
Oh, I play stuff with strings.
This is analog.
You know what's analog? That toilet right behind you.
Analog toilet. That's the noise toilet makes.
How long does it take to edit just one episode?
74 days.
So, I mean, right now we're on a schedule. I've been able to get it done in about 2.5 week time. I mean, that is kind of like, especially when I'm like for the video wise, because I have to like color correct and stuff like that. I kind of like try to work on it by like an hour a day for like that 2 or 2.5 week time, or maybe even long. I have my off days. I'll do a few hours to it as well. I mean, we've kind of getting into a pattern where I can do it real fast now. But besides that, it's more of like, all right, while I'm doing that, if Hayden has a graphic that he has to do animation for, like he'll do that for his own time, and then Alex will do the sound. Like Alex has been helping me out on the sound side for like mixing the sound, not just like composing, but helping me mix like the audio levels and stuff like that too, because that's kind of where my weaker side is on things. It's kind of but that 2.5 week time, us working together, we kind of usually get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having all three of us involved in post production like that helps a lot too, because like we've got it down to such a science that I'll usually like I made the joke earlier that I made a soy sauce health bar today. I when the gag that calls for that, we did that. I already had the image in my head. Like when I came up with what I was gonna do, I was already thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a funny thing to do. Like this is gonna be a funny graphic to have for that. So I already had the idea for it in my head. And so like really after that all it comes down to is like I just have to execute it at that point. I just have to plug it in and be like, all right, now translate this into a visual medium. And you don't realize like planning takes up so much of an artistic, like doing the art itself isn't the hard part. Planning the art is the hard part. So with the creative juices flowing and just like the ideas popping in, literally all you have to do is just like make your blueprint and then clean it up. And I think we all work that way, which is why it works so well, because we don't have to sit down and have like focus meetings about like, let's make it look like this specifically. It just, we just do it as it comes. And we're all like, yeah, that's great. That's excellent. That's what we want. And it gives us all a fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They come out so good. They're so clean, and the transitions are good. The sound effects are perfect. So you guys put a lot of heart and soul into those videos.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
We put a lot of thought.
I mean, they're so good.
And it helps too because even when we have like, I guess disagreements is the wrong word, but it's the only word that really fits. Even when we have like disagreements about how something should be done, we don't step in the other. We just tell them like, that's not really what I think. Like so, Alex, there's a Flip the Food song that we did in the last one where he had a draft for a song that I loved and I thought it was great, but like I had another idea and I ran it by him and that's the one that he ended up using in the video, and it I think either would have been great, but it's like we handled that well because I was able to translate, like communicate to him like I love it, but I had another idea. And
yeah, well, I mean, that kind of goes down to us all being artists of our craft. And then the big thing about being an artist is taking other people's feedback. And that's what we know how to do well with each other. It's like feedback is not necessarily meaning like, oh, you're terrible at what you're doing. It's more of like, like this is what I feel like we should be doing for this specific moment. Like it's, like it's really, and it's a joint opinion too. It's not like one person if we do decide on the other. Like we all kind of put almost like not a vote, but like we're like, yeah, we like that one. Like this thing more, or like but it is like we love to have our feedback to each other just because it does make us better at what we do.
Yeah 100%. And it
and that goes to also the people that watch the show. That's why we want to grow with you guys.
We're not afraid. We're not afraid to look at each other. We're not afraid to look at each other and go like, hey, I like it, try this instead. We're not afraid to do that because it helps us grow. It helps us.
Yeah. So if you give us a thumbs down, please tell us why in the
comments. We have exactly one thumbs down on one of our videos, and it eats me alive. I'm like, I want to know what I did.
I think the only thumbs down, like the only like negative I heard that I didn't really kind of care for was, I'm not gonna lie, my mom said like she didn't really care for the video game part, and I'm like, that's more of an audience thing, to be honest. Yeah. I know. I kind of figured a lot of the older generation.
It's your mom that gave the thumbs down.
But she likes the cooking part.
Be right back, Brad. I'm going to fight your mom.
But that's just how it is, though. I mean, that's just because she's in a different generation. She didn't play video games. Like you have that whole video game segment. The reason why I want to do it because that's a whole crowd on YouTube, and the cooking is a whole nother crowd.
Love. Yeah. Love it.
Let me clarify that this is not like watching Pioneer Woman to listeners.
No, it's like watching Barefoot Contessa instead.
We're actually, I fancy us as more of like a Cutthroat Kitchen kind of set.
Yeah.
I was trying to go for Iron Chef. Okay.
So there's no need to stop the recording, Celeste. I'm literally only going to be like 15 seconds, but I'm going to go pee. So I'll be right back.
Lilo, get on the mic. Lilo, get on the mic.
So I'm just picturing your mom having this image in her head of like, oh gosh, all these cooks on Food Network. And then she watches your video not expecting the video game part.
I mean, she will, like, I just tell her to skip to the game part. To be honest, I
we
mean,
need to put little time skips in the.
That's actually because she said that. I actually thought about doing that for like the game parts, like just because it's for the just so there's some people that are like, hey, like if you're not interested in the game part, just skip to this time code.
Yeah,
that'd be I thought about that, and I didn't actually run it by you guys, but I thought that's a go. I'm glad you kind of
I'm
a little bit.
I mean,
you heard it here first, guys.
See, look, this is how we work.
That's how it works.
This is it. This is it right here. Really
well, I know Hayden is taking a quick little break, but I wanted to get started on the next part. Okay, so this is the last question, official question I have. Okay. Favorite original video game music? Because yeah, you guys cook, you play video games on the show, but music is an integral part to this show. It's all done in harmony. So what are some of your favorite soundtracks or your favorite song?
I'm just gonna, all right. So Koji Kondo, Link to the Past, like hands down, awesome. David Weiss with the Donkey Kong Country with one of the best songs and probably the song that influences me the most, Aquatic Ambience. It's just a phenomenal song and is just incredible. And like knowing a little bit about like what he worked with like the limitations of the keyboard that he had, and it's like it's just so great and always an inspiration for pretty much any music I do.
I love Aquatic Ambience, and I have a hard flex for you. David Wise, for some reason, follows me on Twitter. Well, I don't know why.
Goodbye, Alex.
I have no idea why. I just started following him, and he followed me, and I'm far less interesting.
What?
Sometimes he likes my stuff.
What?
Hell yeah.
Sid, God, make him like this one, please. Oh my God.
Tell him he's an inspiration.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to listen to an interview with him, the Super Switchheads podcast got him on their show.
Okay, Super Switchheads podcast. Super Switchheads. Okay.
Yeah, they have David Wise on there. Oh, Aquatic Ambience. Oh, you're speaking my language, Alex.
I mean,
well, that's good.
Anything I have done musically since, like whether I'm playing guitar or doing keyboard, it's always that. It's built off of that, really.
I'll agree with Alex on Koji and David. Like those two are kind of like big on my book, just because they kind of like just grew up influence wise of music game.
Dude,
like
Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island.
Like,
even now, like for Koji especially, like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time is the Mario Galaxy soundtrack. Yeah. That was so well composed, like it's not even funny. Like it's so good. But Koji does all like Koji's so good at what he does is because that he's done so much that you don't realize, but also the stuff you do realize. Like he's been Nintendo's composer forever, and he's
40.
still doing it, and he's still outplaying pretty much almost. Yeah. And of course Dave Weiss, because obvious reason, Donkey Kong Country soundtrack always. Forever. And then another big one for me, this one's kind of more personal. The guy that does the Ace Combat soundtracks, Keiki Kobayashi. Yeah. He's very, very good, but he's a sleeper. Like people don't really. I guess Ace Combat's kind of more cult following a little bit. But those soundtracks for those games are some of the best soundtracks you'll hear in a video game, and especially if you ever hear the soundtrack for Ace Combat Zero. It's probably one of the most. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest soundtracks for a video game ever, and it's one of the most unique ones because of like how much different instruments he decides to throw into his score besides just orchestra. Like and it's so well done and well blended, and I can't explain it. It's so good.
I do have one more addition. Silent Hill soundtrack.
Yamaoka.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I feel bad about leaving him out. Dang! Like, he's one of the big influences.
I just thought about it. Like that specifically too. Like
that ambient soundtrack. That ambient soundtrack he does is like he's the ambient soundtrack guy. Like
for Darkness too, though.
For Darkness, like that's
all. Beats. He's got beats, man.
Like, I mean, that's all his. his main inspiration being Portishead, obviously.
Oh.
But that's why it was so good. Like
Yeah. Trip hop.
I think you guys are forgetting another composer.
Don't say it because I think I know where you're going with this.
Okay. Hayden, tell us
Okay,
about some of your favorite original video game music.
So my answer is a little long-winded, and I want to make sure everybody else is done with their answer before I get to mine.
I'm done.
You done? Okay.
Yeah.
I added this question because it is the single thing I am most passionate about when it comes to video games. And this is it. That sounds weird, and I promise you, I know it sounds weird. It's just like some people say graphics can ruin a video game for them, like bad graphics can ruin a video game. It can literally ruin a video game for me. Like if the music isn't fun to listen to, I don't have fun. I have synesthesia, like really, 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 really mildly. So like I will joke that some music tastes a certain way, and it's the truth. I can't listen to noise because it's it like a lot of noise tastes like rust. The exception being clipping. Clipping is really good, but so like as a kid, it blew my mind in Link to the Past that the music was different in the boss fights than it was in like the rest of the game. But it's still like back then on the Super Nintendo, the sounds were amazing, and like it really kind of like it structured my love of like stuff like that for the long run. But it really didn't hit me that music, and this transcends video games for me. It didn't hit me that music could like give me an emotional response, could like genuinely affect my mood until the very first time I played Final Fantasy VII and heard Aerith's theme.
I was actually about to mention Final Fantasy's composer too, Nobu.
Yeah. Is that what you were gonna say, Celeste?
I was gonna say Grant Kirkhope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, yeah.
No, don't apologize.
Wait, who's that? Who's that?
Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I should have known that. My bad.
So like,
that's a big one.
But like, I think the first time I ever thought about music as a vessel, like as a creative expression with emotions and feelings, and as a necessary part to a whole piece, was Final Fantasy VII. It's my absolute favorite piece of music created for another medium, if that makes any sense. Like it, like there's other like albums and other pieces of music I like more than Final Fantasy VII's soundtrack. But like when it comes down to like video game, movie music, like stuff that was created to enhance another thing, Final Fantasy VII's OST is perfect. Do you guys remember? Spoiler alert. Do you guys remember when Aerith died?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to know like what makes that so tragic and like people don't realize it? It's because you fight Jenova for the second time, and like you're looking forward to hearing that cool Jenova song that they play the first time when you fight her on the boat. But it never comes. They just keep playing Aerith's theme, and like that fight is so ridiculous because like she's not easy, but you're furious, and like that song is just enhancing it and making you like super sad because like you just watched her die, and it like it's just this haunting like sad calm piano piece during this brutal fight, and it like blew my mind because in the 90s the only real exposure to music and media I had was like Disney movies, which like Disney movie songs are fun and they're really good, but they like shove them down your throat with like this big colorful, it's like watch this song, you're supposed to love this song and sing it all the time. And like video game music's not like that. If you notice video game music and you like specifically respond to it, it's because it's that good and because it enhances the experience. And like it was crazy because like Final Fantasy VII's music, even in the remake, all the remasters of those songs are just perfect. Like they're just wonderful. Nobuo Uematsu like hit it out of the park.
And that's a guy that people don't really talk about as much as like that should be talked about as much as Koji Kondo, because like he's done every single Final Fantasy since the beginning till now. Like that's as much as I think even longer than Koji's been doing soundtracks for like games like. But Koji's probably done a little more soundtracks because of how many Nintendo properties there are. But
and
he's insane.
He's amazing, and it was funny because I remember Final Fantasy VII came out in 1998. Was it 98 or 97?
90. I think I'm pretty sure that was 98.
Because I didn't play it until like 2000, 2001, and then it was a couple years after that I played Final Fantasy X, and it did it again. Like, oh my god, to Xanarkand? Are you serious? Like all these
Final Fantasy X soundtrack is like my favorite Final Fantasy soundtrack. I love 10 soundtrack.
God, it's so good. And like, so Final Fantasy X got a remaster on PlayStation 4 that I wasn't gonna buy, right? Because I was like, no, I'll skip it. Like, I've played the game, I have it on PS2, it's fine. I bought it because I looked up the OST on YouTube and I found the remastered version, and I had to experience those songs with the game. Like, I had to. I was like, no, this is, I have to know what this feels like with the game in the background. Like, I have to know. And it was amazing. Like, it was well worth it because that scene. This is gonna make me look like such a heartthrob emo romantic, but like the scene with Titus and Yuna in the lake, that song, the remastered version of that song, how like it just sounded better. I remember I plugged in, I think these headphones. I plugged these headphones into my PlayStation 4 remote, and that's how I played the whole game, and it blew my mind because it sounded so good. And I just and I like Final Fantasy VII's music literally changed the way I looked at music, like at scores. And I think I wouldn't be as passionate about like just music in general if it wasn't for that game. And that is a truth. But actually my favorite OST is Katamari Damacy, so it's, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my
that's a
god!
pretty good
I love
one.
that you went very serious and pointed. Oh, kind of Damacy.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
mean,
a great
to be
one.
honest, it is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Final
But
Fantasy VII is very much my
but I would
favorite.
also I would also add I don't know his name, but I mean it was kind of just one game, but the Shadow Colossus soundtrack is one of the best like ever.
That was good.
Like it's so good. Like it shouldn't be that good.
Oh yeah. Back to Bloodborne. The music in Bloodborne is fantastic as well. But that's because like
You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell.
You never got to the boss.
Now,
fight.
and then I'd like to also bring this up as well, just like a lot of the Dark Souls game, but this kind of brings us to Breath of the Wild. Also, like when it came, but this kind of goes to more of sound design rather than composing. It was kind of more lack of music, but it brought me into the game more when it was more about, I guess, the area and the sound of like Breath of the Wild, which is, I guess, the more universal game we've all played in this little talk here. Like, I love Breath of the Wild's sound design so much because there's no music besides the little piano riffs everywhere. Like, people hate on it so much, but I love it because it makes you kind of appreciate everything around you and be open to everything around you. It felt like a wild world. It felt like a real world, I guess.
Yeah, it felt real.
It also added to the like oh, I'm in actual trouble right now, because when you fought the Ganon Blights, that was a full orchestral piece.
Yeah, that's the only time you get the actual music. Yeah,
and like
so
that was,
And Guardian.
The Guardian gives you that thing.
But
Or
it
when you're
more
riding your
sense.
horse, that's
Yeah.
a cool. It feels like a trot, a gallop while you're
like,
riding your horse.
Just one of the things that amazed me about the game, just how graphically it looked. But I just remember like running through like tall grass and just admiring just everything about that game, and just that little piano just playing in the background. I'm like, man, this like it was a feeling I never really felt in a long time when I played that game. It was like it made me. It was one of those games that I wanted to look at every cranny of a map, and I still never did.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible. It's impossible unless you want to put your entire like ever looking in every little cranny of that game.
Yeah, I have beaten that game to oblivion, and there's still stuff in that game that I see online. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's so big.
God,
Thanks, Witcher 3.
Yeah, dude, Witcher 3, like I had to stop playing it because I realized after a while it was like I'm never gonna be able to gray out all of these icons. I can't do
Telling
it.
people, Witcher 3 changed the open worlds forever.
Mm-hmm. Witcher 3 was
Redemption
fantastic.
2 is huge too.
Witcher 2 like broke my heart because I played it too late. And then I was just like, I probably would have loved this had I not played Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3 just did everything better.
Yeah.
I never played those games.
You don't even have to play the first two games to play the third one.
You should.
No.
You should play Witcher 2. Witcher 1 is
No,
Witcher 1 is great.
Celeste.
Yeah.
Should I play Witcher 3?
Well, I've never played it, so let's play it together and talk about it.
I'm not gonna play that game.
they're actually based off some books, so they're actually pretty interesting.
The books are fun.
It looks like a really cool game. It's interesting that they decided to port it to Switch.
Which was baffling. Like it runs well. Like it may not be graphically as impressive, but like you have to realize how big that game is to be on the Switch.
What kind of game is it?
It's like an
open world
third-person action adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think of like Dark Souls, but less hard, but a little more like it's still strategic.
Yeah.
But like it's fun, but it's more fun than like
It's a very adult RPG in terms of content, and also like it asks a lot of you. Like it requires you to pay a little attention and like prepare a little bit. It's difficult, but it's not undoable if you like sit back and pay attention and like really take your time to get yourself through the game. And then at some point you start making your Witcher armor, and then after you have all your Witcher armor and weapons, then after that it just gets really you're just like unbeatable. So you're just like, haha.
and the story is like solid
Okay.
for it's like more of a direct story than like a Dark Souls game would be. It's with your main character as an actual character and stuff like that. But it's kind of like if you took the kind of like the like Mass Effect and the like just those older RPGs like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, when you have choices and your choices matter, like depending on what dialogue you choose and stuff like that. It's like that. Like
can I tell you guys what game also had really funny choices? Is Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Man, that's an interesting game.
Kingdom Come Deliverance was hilarious because like one of the shopkeepers, I went to him and I was like covered in literal shit. I was covered in literal feces because like there's a part where you get in a fight and like if you roll on the ground or anything, you get knocked down, you land in just like shit in the street because it's medieval times in medieval Poland. And you talk to the shopkeeper and he like trusts you. But if you bathe before you talk to him, he gets really mad because he thinks he's like, "What, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than me at all?" Like, and it's like, well, no, I don't. Why do you think that? And he's like, coming over here smelling like a flower. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's really funny.
that one's a weird. Those are weird games because those are like I guess more closer to actual medieval.
Mm-hmm. That game was so hard. I could not like that game more than I did. But like, it was. I'm glad I played the like 2 hours of it that I played.
I don't know if you guys have played this one, but when you said medieval, it reminded me. I played A Plague Tale: Innocence this year. That has a phenomenal soundtrack for the atmosphere. Do you what's that?
What's her name's in it? Keep talking. Look it up.
Oh, if you would like to play a 15-year-old girl having to protect her 5-year-old annoying brother, then play this game.
Oh. All right.
He's 5, so he doesn't understand what's going on, but it's all about stealth and strategic attacking, so you have to hide from people. Yeah. But if you go away from the little brother too long, he starts freaking out and it draws attention from the guards, and you'll find yourself possibly dropping some expletives in real life because come on, kids, stop.
Yeah, I heard that was a good one. I kind of kept seeing stuff about it. I was wondering if it was really good.
It's on YouTube.
What's it called?
A Plague Tale: Innocence. If you like to watch people get eaten by rats, it's very good.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
All right.
Yeah, all right, so this is not the game I was thinking of, but yes, I have heard of this game and it looks amazing.
It's beautiful. It's sad. It's a little frustrating at times, but yeah, the Catholic involved, the Inquisition is involved.
Oh man, yeah. That gets depressing.
It gets a little intense.
All right.
But if you guys would like a Switch game I love this soundtrack. Have you guys played Coffee Talk on Switch? I think it's available on different platforms where you own a coffee shop.
Okay.
Is it more like a simulator?
Yeah, but instead of you make these different drinks for the patrons, and they tell you about their problems, and you live. It's humans living among fantasy creatures like vampires, werewolves, fairies, and they all have real human jobs. It takes place in Seattle. It has like a very chill hop soundtrack. So if you
oh, what? I'm about that.
Oh, it's so relaxing. It's about 3 to 6 hours long. So but it's very clever because the problems they bring to you in the coffee shop reflect real world problems like maybe xenophobia and abuse that happens in the entertainment industry with young girls, but nothing like too explicit. You have to read between the lines.
Yeah.
Like it.
Gotcha.
That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's something I could get into.
Coffee Talk. If you just want a chill game to play at night.
Coffee
Talk. It rains the whole time. You feel like you're on Frasier.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, my chill game is usually Stardew.
Oh, I need to play that.
You haven't played that, Celeste?
We own it. I haven't played it.
Oh my god!
That,
If you start playing that game, you're gonna be done.
Like no other game will do it for me.
Like this is like what the Harvest Moon games used to do, and even better than that.
Yeah.
Like if you're ever into the Harvest Moon games.
I played A Wonderful Life, and right now on Switch I have Story of Seasons. Friends of Mineral Town.
So Story of Seasons is actually the original crew of that made the good Harvest Moon games, because the people that make Harvest Moon games suck right now. so that's why if the Story of Season games, those are the actual Harvest Moon team that used to make those really good ones, like 64 and the Super Nintendo one and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody tells me I would like Stardew Valley. So
yeah, it's an addiction.
Yeah, you're gonna start playing it, and then you're gonna lose like 4 days.
Especially on the Switch, where you can just like stop for it, like, oh, let me play a day or two, you know. Let me put it down for a little bit. Let me pick it back up, and like, let me go poop while. Let me play a day while I go poop. like, but then you're just like, I keep, but you're like, you're 20 days in one sitting, and you're just like, what am I doing?
I love.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm playing starting.
Well, is there anything else we forgot to talk about the show or video games or food?
Play Undertale. Everyone, play Undertale.
Play Undertale, people. That's a good game. Yeah.
So
Play
that's
Phasmophobia.
Play Phasmophobia. Play Phasmophobia, and like, please buy it. That dude is working so hard, and he's putting out such a good product, and we're all having so much fun with it.
Quit playing games with my heart.
Quit playing games with my heart.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have where people can find you in the show notes. We're going to have that on the website, on the podcast and everything. But if you guys want to give a plug for where people can find you on the internet.
You can find us at Twitter and Instagram at 16-Bit Picnic, all one word. I am Tiny Viking Productions on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I'm Hello Llama Productions on Instagram and Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook, but Instagram, Jupiter Dog Music, and I already said jupiterdog.bandcamp.com.
Yeah,
everything, all the music's free if you want it. It's free.
Yeah, but we definitely post everything for the show on the 16-bit, and we kind of use those other channels to share that. And because we still have our own personal work we do, that we share on our own production pages as well. So it's kind of a mix bag when you go to our individual ones, but if you're trying to just follow 16-bit entirely, you can just go to 16-bit, of course, especially on the YouTube. And please follow our YouTube, please.
Which the URL is now.
Yeah, now that we're above 100, you can literally go to youtube.com/16-bit picnic, and
help us to get to 1,000 so we can kind of finally make money.
Yeah, we can all make like $2.
Well, guys,
I'm framing the first
that's
check.
awesome. It's 100 followers already, and y'all have been doing this just since August?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first one.
I think September was our first upload, actually.
Yeah, because I was in jury duty, and I remember.
You can tell your grandkids about this. I was in jury duty
for 3 weeks during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh COVID restriction court is very weird.
So we could.
It was horrible.
Oh my gosh! Did you find the person guilty?
It was civil court. It was boring.
I got excited for you.
Sorry, this is
it was usually a waste of time.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your evening to talk to us about 16-Bit Picnic, video games, music, food, everything in between.
Yeah. Thank you
for having us on.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was fun. It's like old times.
Yeah. I know, right? I will come on and I will talk.
I used to have hair back then, but it's fine.
I've never had hair.
You should come on the show.
Yeah, come on the show. We'll do. If you come on the show, we'll do Sims 2 as an episode. Promise.
Oh well, if you can get rid of this pesky virus going around.
Yeah, in the middle. By the way, we were recording this. This is when second wave, third wave.
Yeah, we're in phase 2 here in Louisiana.
Well, went back to phase 2.
I have been phase forever. Wear a mask, people.
Yeah. Well, guys, you can find us on Boss Rush Games on YouTube, Bob First Games Podcast on Twitter, and wherever you listen to podcasts. So until next time, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Welcome to The Price is Right.
Goodbye.